Yes, it does, huh? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I said it sure
Uh,
does right there when we was talking. It said click.
every time.
Hey, welcome, welcome to another Financial Friday. Financial Fridays, where we are rising from a financial slump. We try to help you to rise out of your financial slump so that you can thrive in financial freedom. And I'm your
Yes,
host,
yes,
Dr.
yes.
A.D. Burns, and my co-host is JL JP CEO,
Oh
none
yeah.
other than James Jones. What's going on, Mr. K?
I do it, everybody.
So
Um,
I missed y'all last week. Y'all was cutting up a little bit. I was peeking in and out because I
yeah,
had something else going on. I was at another conference, or just part of my responsibility as the Minnesota, Wisconsin African American National African American President. I'm the National African American Fellowship President for Minnesota and Wisconsin, and we had our regional gathering, and so I had to be there. But I was sneaking on every now and then, looking, and y'all was trying to cut up a little bit. Y'all always be trying to cut up when I be gone. I think Mr. Brumfield trying to steal my show. You know.
uh, no, the dynamics is always there, so that's always fun. Always fun.
See, both of y'all, if y'all gonna come up with y'all, what y'all gonna call it? Uh, um, roll and throw. No, I'm just
um,
messing with y'all. Mess with y'all. It's good to be able to have somebody to step in. I appreciate Mr. Brumfield stepping in for me on last week. And so they did a survey last week as well, and got some interesting comments. I think one of the biggest comments is that people is really challenged with cash flow. They want to learn how to have cash flow. And so I know that's not in our notes today, but just starting out just a little bit, shooting from the hip. I know you always prepared, but just shooting from the hip. You know what that means, don't you?
yes,
Okay,
yeah.
I'll be talking to younger people than I am sometimes. I date myself when I throw out them kind of comments because they don't know what I'm talking about. So shooting from the hip, when we talk about cash flow, what is the key to having great cash flow?
Ooh, this is an oldie but a goodie. The key to
Okay.
having the key to always having great cash flow is knowing the basics. What is
Okay.
coming in, what is going out. Because once you know those things, you can always reduce or put yourself in a position to get more. Because if you know what you got leaving, some things we carry on with ourselves that we don't really need.
Okay.
So just shooting from the hip. If somebody said, "Hey, what are some things I need to know?" I said, "How much money are you spending? How much money are you getting?"
Wow. So then we're going back to those basic things we covered when we first started Financial Friday, and that is budgeting. How crucial it is. The budget part of budgeting is knowing what's coming in and going out. What you say?
Yes,
Yeah.
because the truth of the matter is, when somebody is having a job and when somebody has life outside of the job, the idea of somebody being able to bring in $4,000 to $5,000 extra dollars, that's not as likely as some people may want to tell you on Facebook or Instagram, or just you telling somebody that in your passive income, in your passive time of 2-3 hours a day out of a whole week, that somehow you're going to make $1 million. That's simply just not the case. And most Instagram influencers, they're not even making $1 million. So the easiest way for someone to make it is just to reduce what they have coming in and then start gradually putting more money in their pocket, and then they'll hit the number that they're looking for.
Okay. All right. Because one of the other challenges that someone had said that they were having was, and I'm interpreting a little bit, and that is creating enough um, extra cash, if you will, to begin to invest. And so, it seemed like cash flow struggles and being able to, not just go from week to week, from day in, day out, but to be able to have that extra, if you will, to begin to invest. So what would you say to someone who have a desire to invest and they're working a job and they're paying their bills on time, but they don't seem to have enough or a strategy to start some type of investment? What would you say?
I think the easiest thing for me to tell somebody is start where you are. So if the most you got is,
wait a minute, what do that mean? You say start where you are.
I'm going to explain. I promise I'm going to explain.
When I first started with social media, they would always say know your audience or find your audience. I'm like, well, what does that mean? Find your audience. Do you go out there and they got a golden book or something that you find your audience? So when you say those catchphrases like that, a lot of times it sound good, but what does that mean?
Okay. So when I say start where you are, I'm telling you that when you have an account, open up a savings account.
So hold up. You saying start where you are.
Yeah.
You have an account, then you saying open it up. You have an account that you're using right now as your ins and outs, your business, whatever, your finance, your bills and things of that sort. And then you saying now open up another account such as the savings.
Yes.
Okay.
But I mean, now the human body is kind of tricky like this. So when I say open account, I'm talking open up an account that you don't look at. You're not going to monitor as often, and it can collect money without a whole lot of attention.
Okay, hold up. That sounded intriguing right there. Now, what you say, your body is tricky like that? What you mean? They're gonna do the hula hoop or something? What you mean? Your body is tricky like that?
When you know you have money, you oftentimes put yourself in a position where you got to break the piggy bank, so to speak.
Okay.
You remember like old school, how everybody had that old fat piggy and you put all your money in it, and then you be like, oh yeah, we're running low on money. You break the piggy bank, you take all the little coins out of it, and then you try to put it back together, and then say, I'll never do this again, right?
Okay. And when I'm saying with the same concept, the bank account becomes the piggy bank.
Yes.
And you're saying that your body, when you say your body is tricky like that, you're saying that you're going to have a desire to monitor that thing. And when it gets fat, you're going to want to go in there and use it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to make sure, because, we may have some beginners out there that, trying to figure it out. So, all right. So I keep throwing you off your game.
No, that's okay.
All right.
Hey, okay, this is straight from the hip. So this is straight from the hip. So you got to everybody know, like, so some techniques that I did when I was getting started, because
we got to go back now. We got to go back because, I chopped it up and I interrupt, and then I elaborated to try to get clarification of the situation. And so now that we understand, when you talk about your body being tricky, we understand that you mean that, we have a tendency of looking and then, coming up with reasons to use it. And then when you say open up another account, you're saying this account is like a savings account that you're not going to look at it as much. Now, when you say that, don't you know what you're putting in there, or how you're going to put money in there without knowing what's in there?
So let me recap. So your body is tricky like that.
No, wait a minute.
Hold
up. Wait a minute. Hold up. But what about if? Now, see, I'm just messing with you because you said that I could interrupt because you shoot from the hip. So I'm trying to see how many times I can interrupt you. Okay, all right.
You can always interrupt, but I'm telling you, your body is tricky.
I was just having a little fun. Come on.
So everybody has a body, right? And your body is tricky. Mm-hmm. So as you're getting started, your body wants to know how much money you got. And then If you putting quarters away and now you look at it and you be like, I got $500 in this account, your body gets a little tricky.
Okay.
If you look at it and now you're like, man, I got $3,000 in this account, because money accumulates a lot faster than you think in the dark.
Okay.
It's like planting a seed. If you plant seeds every single day or you plant seeds every 2 weeks, eventually you can get done with the whole year and you got 52 seeds planted. That adds up to a pretty good chunk of money.
Okay.
When I say 52, I mean that's 52 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you get paid bi-weekly, that's 26 weeks. That's 26 different times that you put money inside of this hidden account that no one knows about.
Okay.
And that money adds up.
Mm-hmm.
The way to do this, where you're opening up an account, but you're not normally monitoring it and it's not really going nowhere, you open up a savings account.
Mm-hmm.
And you make a direct withdrawal from your checking account to that savings account. It could be from the same bank, it could be from a different bank, but the goal is not to monitor it as much.
Okay. All right. I like that.
And by doing that, you're saving money without it burning a hole in your pocket. When I say burning a hole in your pocket, I mean without your body being tricky with you and saying, hey, now we have some money.
Okay.
Now, I do have to warn you. It does come with a warning.
Okay. What's the warning?
Don't overdo it.
What that mean?
Too often we look at it like it's supposed to be a second account. So we put additional funds in it, knowing that we need these funds. So when I say start account, I'm talking about you talking $1 to $2 to start. And then if you have an excess or you start getting your money underneath your control, or if you start noticing that you have more than $2. And when I say small, I do exactly mean small. If you have a bigger bank account and you can, out of 2 weeks, you can hold on to $20 and you like, I got a free $20. I say up your amount to $10. You always want to have some money in your bank, some money in your pocket that you can use for the here and there. And you putting money away inside of a secret account that's always collecting, just like a piggy bank.
Mm-hmm.
The difference is when, as you continue down that road, you will have an extra $20 that will be split. $10 going to the secret account and $10 in your pocket. So as you hang on to that $10 and you hang on to another $10, now you have $20 for yourself, and the money that's being directly withdrawn is going right into that account. Another method that I can give you is that if you can't do direct withdrawal from your checking account, a lot of employers allow you to do direct withdrawals from your paycheck. So as you do direct deposit from your paycheck, you want to deposit 99.9% of your direct deposit. You want to go to the account you're going to. Mm-hmm. You want to change it to 1% going into a savings account. That's another way for you not to see the money that's leaving your account. Just like you look at your taxes and your government, and you like, the government took all this money away, right? Mm-hmm. Now you can see the government took all this money away, and I think it's 1% went somewhere, and you're not monitoring it, but you're seeing it. You're seeing that it's gone, just like your taxes, okay. But you're not monitoring it like you do your regular account.
Okay.
And over time, you will see that also produces income or residual income or a savings account. And then once it reaches a certain level, roll it over into a money market and you can start collecting interest.
Okay, then that's when you start investing in. So when you get your automatic deduction out of your paycheck, you can have it go to multiple places?
Yes. Most employers allow you to do that. Some don't, but most do.
Now, one of the things is very challenging in my thought pattern, and you say your body, let's start using your mind. Your mind is challenging more so than your body. And with that being said, one of the things that I'm kind of stuck on here, or challenged with, is this idea of $2 or $10, as a start. Should we challenge ourselves more than $2 or $10? I mean, you know, shouldn't we be, if we're working every day, shouldn't we be able to put away 25 or $50 or something?
I mean,
why just $2 or $10?
Because everything goes with a landing, everything goes with a start. In order for you to take your plane off, a plane doesn't start at 500 kilometers an hour or 500 knots an hour. It doesn't do that. A plane starts at 0 and it ramps up. The same is true with your savings. If you go from 0 to $2,000 a month and you're not prepared for that impact, you can mess around and actually hurt yourself in the process of pushing yourself forward that fast.
Okay.
But if you start off with $1, $2, and now you got the method down packed, when you got the method down packed, then you can jump from $2 to $4. And when you get that method down packed, then you can jump from 4 to 8. When you get that method down packed, now you went from 8 to 16, and now you went from 16 to 32. Because remember when I originally told everybody how much you should be on your living expenses should be around 40% of what you actually bring in. That should be your living expense.
Right.
But remember when we first did that, and I first told everybody, no, this is how you actually produce enough money to invest in your vision. And a lot of people's like, I don't think I could do it. I know you don't think you can do it. It doesn't mean you can't do it. It just means you don't think you can do it. So instead of me throwing somebody in the hot tub and seeing how hot they can get, why don't I just throw you inside a nice warm bath?
Right. All right.
And by being in the bath, you get used to the heat.
So you using that analogy in wake of, being able to start at a level where it won't interrupt your regular, spending habits, if you will.
Yes.
If you start low or, warm, as you say, in the bathtub warm, where'd that come from? Money in the bathtub.
I got kids.
Okay.
Man, I got kids now. Those suckers be taking like 100-degree showers.
Okay.
How did the shower get that hot? Like that ain't how we taught you. We was in warm water, nice warm water.
So then we're talking about starting warm, if you will, or starting low, where you can get the system down pack, and then begin to increase your deposit as you have the system down pack, and being able to do it in such a way that it doesn't affect your regular spending, and that you put too much over there. Now you're going to be using it as another account because you're going to be going over there, getting it, breaking it back. Is that what you're saying? Okay.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Right.
And it's well, I was like the warm, the hot water. I'm like, that's pretty like because when I think about how do you do things, and I'm like, I remember when my kids was all babies, and it was just everything is gradual. Everything grows into a production. When you do a production, you don't just do the show. You find the people, you look at the venue, you plan, and then you execute. If at any point in time, if you was like, I'm going to do a show tonight, and you didn't plan it out, you have no production, you have no people, you may be able to put on a show, but that show going to be more comical than anything.
Okay.
Or we can take the time and the talent and our ability and mold it into what we need to do. So when we finally do put on a production, it's what we want, how we want it, and it suits the audience that we're going for. The same is true when it comes to our money. We are our money. We use our money, and our money is a reflection of what we do, and our money is a reflection of what we think about things. So if our money is circular, our money is how we utilize it tells everyone what we like. What we do with it tells everybody what we have a priority in or what we take value in.
Okay.
So when it comes to money, we got to use the same efforts. I value the future more than I value the here and now.
Mm-hmm.
So take a small steps in the right direction. And that is how you can better get yourself in a habit. Another analogy is like working out. You don't go to the bench and lift 3,000 pounds. You don't go to the bench and lift 220 pounds. You go to the bench and you just lift the bar, just the bar. And some people will complain like, why are you just lifting the bar? Easy.
Yeah.
It's because you got to start off with easy. And plus, it may be hard for some. It may be easier for others,
Mm-hmm.
but we all start off with a bar without nothing on it. And by lifting the bar, we just getting our body in routine.
Yeah.
And the routine is, how do you breathe? How do you position your hands?
Mm-hmm.
The same is true when it comes to just starting the account. Is going through the motions. How do you start a savings account? What is the purpose of the savings account? Good, that's done. Now, how much do you put on it? Are we putting on $100 on both sides? Now you're depositing $200, or are we going with 2 10s?
Okay.
Now we're just depositing $10. It's not hard.
Mm-hmm.
You can do it, but as you do it consistently, now you have a rhythm. And now once your rhythm is going, now you can tell yourself, you know what, I've been putting this $10 away and I'm not missing it. Because the goal is I'm not thinking about it. I don't need it. I'm not missing it.
Okay.
And then that's how that $10 becomes $15.
Okay.
And the $15 becomes $20. Mm-hmm. And now you're putting away $30. And you're not missing it because you're gradually making those adjustments.
Okay.
And by making those small adjustments, you are now impacting how much money you spend.
Okay.
So that's the reason why we got to make sure that we're not going too fast, that you pull a hamstring, but you're going at a moderate pace so your body get a full workout.
All right. You put all these analogies and these metaphors tonight. Yeah, we're gone then. All right. We had a few things on the agenda. Before we get started, let's talk about a little bit about the workshop coming up.
Yes.
We've been doing these entrepreneur workshops on the fourth Friday of every month, and they've been phenomenal. I think that each person that we've had to come in knocked it out of the park. And so on this one coming up on this Saturday, April 27th, 9 to 3, Fail Forward Fast. And this one is going to be really good. All of them is really good because they hit different areas. But this is one of the areas that I believe many people need to be a part of because, bouncing back from a setback is very crucial to your success. And because anything that you do, whether it's in marriage or whether it's career-wise or business, you got to learn how to overcome obstacles. And so on this Saturday, Fail Forward Fast is going to be our workshop for this month. Cost is only $25. And I'll tell you, we shouldn't even call that a cost. That's for your lunch and your workbook. The workbook alone is worth $25, but your workbook and lunch is $25. And it's going to be at Jericho Church Star Walls, 8860 off 76th Street. And we have Michelle Pitts is going to be our facilitator. And she has multiple businesses and multiple venue things that she does. And of course, she owns the funeral home. But she definitely is a good person for talking about failing forward fast. And so just a little commercial snippet in there, based on the workshops, because you've been at a few of the workshops, if not most of them, based on your attendance in the workshop, what would be, and I'm not paying you for this commercial, and and I'm a big boy, so you can't hurt my feelings, but it must be pretty good because you came back. What is your synopsis on these entrepreneur workshops that we've been doing on the 4 Fridays?
Well, I got a couple of them. So I'm a student of doing better. I'm just a student of doing better. So the joining the network, I thought the network was good. The QR codes for everybody joining the network, I thought that was nice because we're pumping that up. So now we can get that flowing. I like the building your credit. The building your credit thing, that was so much energy off that. That allowed me to position myself to start, I think, 2 other companies. And then on top of that, I'm working with the missus to see if we can start a nonprofit. So that's just off one of the courses.
Okay.
Off one of the courses, there was enough information. And then the following course was about the credit, the bootstrapping,
Right.
Bootstrapping your business.
Mm-hmm.
Now, even though some of the things that they was talking about I had in place, it was a lot more stuff that they would not. It was other stuff they was talking about that I didn't have in place that I was still chewing through. So about going after your credit and looking at your credit history, your professional, your regular credit history, about understanding how to get multiple lines of credit at the same time. I was like, oh man, I'm not doing it as effective as I could be.
Okay.
And even though I may be doing it well and I may be doing a good job, I'm looking for ways to improve, and I haven't been disappointed yet.
Okay.
Everyone I've been to, even though I'm doing good, I always seen new information to help me go faster and further in what I'm already doing. So yeah, I am all in when it comes to doing any of those not Financial Friday, any one of those entrepreneur workshops.
All right. So that's something that you would recommend to people.
Yeah. Dude, and it's not just for those who are already involved. This is for people who are just getting started.
Right.
When we went there, it was a number of people who just wanted to get started, and I was like, dude, this is phenomenal to get started. This stuff is jumping you ahead of where I was. Okay. So I didn't have to fall and make a bunch of mistakes. They're telling you this is what you need to do. And I was like, man, if I would have known this 2 years ago, if I'd have known this 10 years ago, I was talking to Elder Perry about that. It's so much information that they're providing for us that I was like, dude, had I known this years ago, 2 years ago, I'll be that much more ahead. So I can't say enough about how good it was.
Okay, well, excellent. So listen, if you're out there, you're an entrepreneur, or you're thinking about entrepreneurship, or you're one that have challenges in your life that you want to learn some principles of how to overcome setbacks and be able to bounce back, and be able to overcome obstacles, you need to be a part of Fail Forward Fast, learning to thrive despite setbacks. And that's this Saturday, April 27th, 9 to 3. The cost is $25. So go to my website, dr80burns.com/events and register today. That's dr80burns.com/events and register. Listen, we had a special on the last time we were on, and I didn't carry that special through. I should have been broadcasting it for those 3 weeks, but my schedule is so full. But anyway, I said that if you get 2 people to register, yours would be absolutely free. So if you can get 2 people to register, now that's 2 people that have not come before. So you can't get 2 people that they already plan on coming. All right. And so, but listen, we doing real good on our time tonight. So let's go ahead into our lesson. We had quite a bit we wanted to cover, and some of it kind of blends in with what we talked about. And even as you talked about that credit thing and how that really helped you, it kind of is a good segue into our lessons for tonight, on top of what we've already covered, because those were learning moments as well, and I'm like you say a student. I like to call myself a lifelong learner. I'm always looking to learn and improve myself. And so what we got on the docket for the rest of our time tonight? Did the screen freeze on me? I was reading. I started working on this book, the Ten Commandments of Black Economic Power by Boyce Watson, and he has some very powerful things in here when he talks about Black economics. And one of the things that really stood out to me in the first commandment, which is always be an asset to your family. And I was thinking about that because in a lot of our families, we're doing it alone. You know, you're doing this, your wife doing this, your children is doing that, and everybody is in their own lane. I believe that we really need to find a way. Oh, he's
Yes.
back. I think he still froze a little bit. But we have to find a way to create family wealth. We have to find a way to bring our family minds together so that we can, as a family, be unified, working towards the one goal. And branching off is good, but in that interim, being able to create that strong financial economic base for our family is so important. And so the mindset has to be like he talks about, and that is being an asset to your family, not a liability to your family. So James Jones is back. Welcome back, James. Well, I think he's back, and like he froze again. There you go.
I'm back. I'm right. Can you see me?
Okay, there you go. You're moving now. We saw you, but you weren't moving. Oh, you froze again. Now I know you were in. Well, we won't even talk about that. Let's just go ahead and trim off some more of the things that we had scheduled for tonight.
Okay. Can you see me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So basically, we're talking about small steps.
Small steps.
The more small steps we can take in the right direction with the right purpose, we can get more things done.
Okay.
Is everybody frozen?
Yeah, you froze. You froze there again.
I'm almost indifferent. Like, what is going on here? Like, I know I'm here.
Okay. We're gonna flow with it. Small steps. I just heard actually someone else said something about small adjustments, when it comes to how important it is when we are developing as a person, that once and I have this in my notes for Sunday, but once we identify an area in our lives and we get information on that area, that is important to begin to make those adjustments, and not just, get the information and say that was good and put it on the shelf, but really find ways to take that information and apply it into our daily lives.
Yes.
So we're talking about small adjustments.
Remember, the small adjustments you make now are mountains in the future. And people, it's hard to understand that, but imagine when you was 17 and 16 and you had those comic books, or you played with those toys, or you made mud pies, and every dime, every penny, every quarter you collected. Remember, if you thought about it and you put that money away, how much more money would you have now? That's the same investment that I want all families to understand, that that's for your children. I'm a dad and an uncle. I don't want my kids and my nephew and nieces to struggle the same way I did when I started. So if I can put something away for them, even if it's not a lot, let's say I put another $1,000 away over the rest of my lifetime, it's only $1,000. And then I also taught them how I did it. And I taught them the reason why I did it. Mm-hmm. Those are monumental in building a legacy.
Yeah.
Because it's not just about wealth, it's also about keeping the wealth and understanding how you got it. So as the next generation goes, so if I can start all my nephews and nieces off and my children with $1,000, and then the next generation can do it, now you're at $2,000-$3,000. But everyone has the knowledge. So now we're starting everybody off sooner. Now I'm going to plug it because if you went to bootstrapping, they talk about this as, hey, I have a company. I'm going to put my kids on when they turn 18 so they can go through some of the financial struggles that I went through at 30. They can go through at 18. And I'm right there to help them get through those hardships. Now at 18 is not going to bottom out. At 30, it was a hardship and we had to fight through it. At 18, mom and dad is right there, and we can see we can see some of the stuff that the younger people are doing, and we're better equipped and better able to handle that situation so it doesn't destroy their financial future. By doing that, now the next generation have a better start to go out and conquer those things that you set them up to do.
Now that's important because
small
steps. One of the things that Boyce Watkins talks about in his book 10 Commandments, when he talks about Black economics, is how important training is when it comes to wealth building. And as a rite of passage path in our families, it really should be just what you said. It should be that training. It should be training that generation. Those basic principles of building wealth, and, even now I talk about how important it is when my grandbaby wants something to give her, a plan. Say, okay, I want you make your bed up every day. I'm going to give you a quarter, and, 4 quarters equals $1, and you need $5. How many times do you have to make up your bed in order to have enough money, or something? But beginning to use some type of tools to work with our children and our whether it's grandchildren, uncles, nieces, nephews, whatever, to train them on what you just said. Now you use the term $1,000 and then showing them how you did that. So when you say that, what do you mean? Do you mean you took 1,000 and you put it up, or you did something that worked up to the 1,000? What do you mean?
Oh, well, my first training was talking. Hey kids, this is what I'm going through. This is what I'm struggling with. This is what I have overcame. And by doing that, my kids start to understand like these dollars that we're utilizing aren't as free to dad as they are for us. And I made sure that they was aware that I'm working for you guys to do better. I'm working so we all as a family can live like this. And those are the things that I think are very important. And it's just small communication. Now, you may not see all these communications that you're doing, but by having the communication, now your kids understand, yeah, my dad bought this bike, but it took work to buy the bike.
Right.
Yeah, my dad was able to send me to a school, or my dad was able to buy this basketball, but it's work behind buying that basketball. It's work behind that. And by my children starting to understand that it's work, they're not so easily to ask for a bunch of stuff. Now they do ask for stuff. Don't get me wrong. They ask for stuff. They be asking for stuff. But at least when I question them, they at least start to realize like this takes time. This takes money. It takes this situation for us to do it. Because I say no and I give them a justification.
Okay.
And that's another thing that we as adults, because I wasn't the best at it either. Sometimes it takes just giving your kids an answer. Hey, Dad, can we go here? No, we're not utilizing our money like that. We trying to go over here. And in that way, the kids understand like we have the money, but the money is used for this.
Right.
Because you don't always tell your kids we don't have it isn't true. Okay. A lot of times parents have money, but we got responsibilities like bills.
Right.
If we didn't have no bills, yeah, we could buy whatever you want. We can buy 300 toy trains and 300 basketballs. However, we got bills. So some of that stuff is our verbiage. The way we talk to our kids is part of the method that we have to do in order to educate not only our kids, but ourselves.
Yeah, now that's very important. That's very important because one, it lines up with the Bible, as far as having what you say. And two, it is a form of opportunity for training, because when you begin to say, we don't got it, we don't got it, we don't got it, or we saying no, 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 and that can begin to create a mindset in that child that you're raising. So you're training them into a poverty mindset versus being able to say, yes, we have it, but not for that, or this is not how we're utilizing our money. This is what we're, and then helping them to see a bigger picture, and helping them to see that even though you have it, you don't have to spend it, and you definitely don't have to spend it any kind of way. So that's a very powerful tool of training when we talk about how we answer our children and how we interject that whole idea of why or why not when it comes to what we can or cannot do, or what we choose to do or not do.
Yeah.
Right?
Because soon your kids will have a job, or they will work a business, and they will create more money.
Mm-hmm.
By you telling your kids that. Now just listen to the words in which you say. If I said, we don't have it, we don't have it, we don't have it, we can't afford it, we can't afford it, we doing this, right? Just imagine that image. Now that kid has heard that from 10 to 18.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Or they heard this. We don't need to buy that right now. We'll buy that later. Don't worry about it. We already got that.
Right.
Baby girl, our money is not designed for that. We trying to do this.
Right.
Hey, baby girl, that's what we got with our money.
Right.
This is what we doing.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine just the mindset of you just listening to my voice.
Mm-hmm.
I am not your kid. I'm not your dad, but I'm somebody just talking to you.
Yeah.
Just that voice reflection alone, that's the energy that we put off. Oh, I can't do it. Oh, we don't got it. Oh, why you keep asking me? Versus that ain't where our money is going.
Right.
No, we trying to do something. Our money is going some places. And you can try with whatever tone you want to, but look at the energy that you're projecting just by saying those things.
Mm-hmm. But one of the other challenges is that oftentimes the parent is the one that needs to hear that themselves, because that's where their mindset is, their mindset. And, we got to learn the difference between this in my notes as well. But we got to learn the difference between the provider and the source. And a lot of times we mix up the provider as the source. When I go to my kitchen sink and I'll turn on the faucet, that's the provider. That faucet provides water for my glass, but that's not the source.
Yeah.
Lake Michigan might be the source. Yeah. You understand what I mean? And when you mix up the provider and the source, it gives you a smaller mentality when you begin to measure what you're able to provide versus the source of it. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Might be getting too deep on that one right there. But I think when a lot of times when parents are saying, when they're trying to plan, or when they won't even release themselves to have vision, because they don't have a revelation of the source. They're looking at the provision as the source. And even though you may have little, you can do a lot with little.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you may not have everything that you want, you can do some things that you want with what you have. And when you mix those two up, where you're seeing the provider as a source, then you're cutting yourself short, and your thought pattern is just jacked up, because you're not going to be able to do much, not because you're not capable. You won't be able to do much because you have locked yourself into, we only got this much.
Yeah, the same is true when they talk about their job. Like my job won't let me. Well, your job is just your job is a job. You can go talk to God, and what if you get another job that pays more?
Yeah.
Then what? My job told me, what if you go get another job? Mm-hmm. And then like that statement is so hilarious, because some people have been at their job so long they can't dream of another job.
Yeah.
But if the job was to let you go, you would think of something else.
Oh yeah, you're thinking something. and it's not so much that you can't dream of it. I think that fear blocks you from being able to see beyond where you are. Because we so creatures of habit that we're locked into this job, and we've been doing this, and people can act like they're afraid to try something different or to step away from that, and they spend their whole lives locked into something that ain't gonna love them back,
and they spend that same poison on their children. And unfortunately, some kids rebel, some kids take it in, but it's still poison. You got to be able to speak life to your kids. Then as you speaking life to your kids, that stuff reverberates. As you tell your kids, you can do it. I believe in you. You're a champion. Guess what? That stuff starts reverberating. You be like, I am a champion. I made this kid. I'm a champion. I know I can do this.
Right.
And your kids are some of your biggest cheerleaders. If you don't think so, your kids are. You keep telling your kids that they can do it, they're gonna look at you and say, "Hey, your dad, you can do this too." You be like, "Man, baby girl, it's hard." You like, "Dad, you got it though. Remember what you told me? You told me you can do anything." And then you be like, "I got to take a couple leaps of faith too." And then you take those little leaps. And I'm not talking about you. Talking about I'm gonna take a couple little leaps.
Right.
Believe in yourself. Take a couple little leaps.
Well, that happened to me growing up. As a father, when I, being a man of faith and believing God for things, that there will be challenges that we will have at home sometimes that will lock me into, know whatever I would say especially Lemar, he would correct that sometimes to the degree that would make me upset. Like I'm the daddy, I'm the daddy, but he would be right. I remember we went into our family went to the Dales for 4th of July, and so our whole family, my sisters, all my siblings, and my uncles and aunts and stuff, we went to the Dales. And we really couldn't afford to go, and so we were gonna go drive up and then drive back and then drive back up again. So then I decided, you know what, we're gonna stay up there. So we get us a hotel room, and we get up in there. We get there and we walk into this hotel room, and it was like a horror thing. The bedspread was dirty. The room was definitely not the same as the pictures. You couldn't even move around hardly in the room. And it was that was not it. And my son at that time, I don't even know how old he was. He might have been 10 years old, maybe. And he looked up to me and he said, "Dad, this is not God's best." and he said, "This is not God's best," And I looked at him and said, "You're right, son." So we left and we went to the Hyatt Regency, and we got a room, 2 rooms, and just used the credit card and made it happen versus being locked into that, and so our children can help, because they're you're right, they're receiving it, they're sucking it in, and then in those moments when we're not thinking, that it'll come back on us.
Yeah. I got a daughter. I got 2 daughters right now. Yeah.
Okay. And so
they can spit some fire though. They
that's what
as much as I know.
Yeah,
them suckers can spit some fire on you. You be like, "Dude, where you learn this from?"
Right.
And you told it to me. You be like, I forgot. I'm sorry. I forgot I did that. So yeah. Kids are hilarious. Kids are hilarious.
Well, listen, we definitely having a good time out here. We got 10 minutes. I think we got about 10 minutes left. And so what can we cover in this last 10 minutes?
Man.
We said we could talk about a period, or a comma or something, a quotation mark. We could talk about a quotation mark.
Yeah, I'm like I think the biggest thing we can talk about is small steps. That's what we got.
Small steps. So that's kind of what you left at. And small steps is a big thing, because oftentimes because of the pressures, because of the stress, because of the fear, sometimes the difference between breakthrough and not breaking through, the difference between changing and not changing, between the difference between making something happen and not making it happen is not a big giant step. A lot of times we think it's a big giant step, but it's a big leap of faith. Well, oftentimes it boils down to small steps, small adjustments. Am I right?
Yeah.
And
remember,
so,
no one makes big decisions. Yeah.
What that mean?
No one makes big decisions. I'm a firm believer that no one makes big decisions.
But what does that mean?
You are okay. So let's say that you talked about it, and one of your friends was like, "Hey, man, just still a little piece of candy." So you still a little piece of candy. You come back, the storeman doesn't even recognize that you stole some, so now you're stealing 2 more pieces of candy. You come back 3-4 times a week, and you saying hi to the store, man. You buying soda, you just stealing candy. It's just something that you regularly do. But now you're running a little short on money. You go in, the storeman still don't notice you, and you just stealing candy. Guess what you start doing? You a thief. you a thief. And like when somebody catch you, you can be like, it was just a piece of candy. No, you stole $300 worth of candy. But it's the small steps.
Okay.
People don't just be like, I'm finna commit armed robbery to the 18th degree and I'm finna take out everybody. No. It was them kids you've been hanging out with.
Okay.
And they got you doing something crazy you weren't supposed to. Okay. It was the people that was a little bit older. They got you drinking some stuff you shouldn't be drinking. It's all small. These are small steps.
Okay.
These are small steps. And then when somebody look at your life and they be like, I remember you was in high school. You was a smart kid. What happened? How you commit all these arsonies? Well, I don't know what happened. I can tell you. Small steps.
Okay.
You was a genius in high school, and then you met the wrong people, and the wrong people poisoned you a little bit. Not that you did anything crazy the first time. They poisoned you just a little bit. They told you your God isn't that strong, and then you a little bit off tilted, and you still hang out with them. And now they telling you, you know what, man? I'm sorry for cussing in your face, but they still cussing. And then you get used to it. So now they cussing. They don't even say excuse me because you're used to it. And now they got you saying a couple cuss words. It ain't that hard. Say a couple of them. Now you said a couple cuss words. Why? Because you used to it. Okay. And now you cussing just as much as they cussing. Why? Because you used to it. The same is true with what I just told you happens with your finances. You put a couple dollars away, then you get used to it. Then you put a couple more dollars away, and then you get used to it.
Okay.
And then you don't even recognize that you're putting $100 away on every paycheck. $100 every paycheck. $115 every paycheck. You're still giving your offering. You're still loving on your family. All your bills are still getting paid. You got a pastor offering. You are helping out the church, and you still putting $150 away because you're used to it.
Yeah.
And once you get used to it, it's just an expansion. And then you will realize when you look at your savings account, you be like, man, I didn't know I got $14,000. Yeah. How did I get that? Because you got used to saving. And then you got used to utilizing the savings. Then you got used to doing what your savings is able to do, which is invest. Yeah. And now you're doing all of that. And they're just small steps. So that's what I mean when I say small steps. Small steps is good and small steps are bad. But you don't make a lot of big decisions. We make small decisions.
Okay. That's good. That's very good, actually, because that is 100% true, And when we discount those steps or those things that we do, we have a tendency of that thing blow up on us, but it just didn't happen. You know what I mean? It's been small increments. There, you ever heard the joke when they ask you, "Do you know how to boil a live frog?"
No, how do you boil a live frog?
You turn it up a little bit at a time. You get it? You put the frog.
You throw it in water.
You turn the stove up a little bit, and it's warm. and then you get used to it, and you turn it up a little bit, and you keep turning it up, and before you know it, you on boredom. Small adjustments, small adjustments.
Ooh, yeah, that is small adjustments. That's small. Ooh, that's no. Ooh, I don't even know. I gotta try that one day. Like, let me throw a couple of tadpoles and frogs in this water and see what happens. Hey, y'all want frog legs? All right, I'll cook them for you. No, Pastor told me how to do it. Pastor, I promise you, Pastor told me how to do it. I can't cook a lot of stuff, but I can boil. I can put some water on some heat. I can.
Yeah. No, well, don't. Pastor didn't tell you how to boil no frog leg. Well, he did, but that was a live one. You might want to kill him and clean him, but
get the colorful one, the one that's all poisonous. Like he told me, it's nice and yellow. I wonder what's gonna happen. I'm only laughing. I don't cook right now. I haven't cooked in like years. So yeah, that'll be.
Well, listen, small adjustments. That's our word for today. Small adjustments, small adjustments.
Yes.
And it's so important to take heed to that because, a lot of times, like I said earlier, people, they fail to make moves that can really change their destiny because they're looking for these big things to happen. I know people that would discount small increments of money. They look at it and say, oh, this ain't enough for me to do whatever I need to do. And so they just blow it. You know what I mean? And so small increments, small adjustments, small steps, just keep it moving. And just like you said, with the putting that money in there before you know it, you put $100 a week away and you're not even, you still paying your tithes, you still giving your offering, you still paying your bills, you're still doing everything. And oftentimes that's how it is when, like you buy a new car, you buy a new car when, let's say your other car was paid off, but then you bought a new car and then you got payments, if you didn't buy it for cash, and then your insurance is going to be higher because it's a newer car. And when you first start making those payments in insurance, it seems like it's a little tight. But then I don't know how many, months, in, all of a sudden you used to making those payments. You know what I mean?
Not just a regular payment.
Not just a regular payment. And so we're saying do the same thing when it comes to saving money. The same thing when it comes to, building wealth. Same thing when it comes to making investments. Small adjustments. And that's so important because with small adjustments, you can get started today.
Yeah.
You can start, especially what you said in the beginning with the whole idea of $1 or $2. Now, I couldn't even fathom doing $1 or $2. I can't even go to church and do it. If I go to a church, the lowest offering that I'm going to give, if I go to a church service, it's going to be $20. I'm not going to give no lower than $20. And in most cases, I'm gonna give 25. That's kind of my entry level, unless the pastor or ask for more. If he say I need somebody to give $500 or something, then I'll probably give whatever that is. But if you don't ask for anything, then the least that I'm gonna give, I never go under $20, right? I'm working on 25 as my low point now, as a regular offering, unless again, they ask for something more or God put on my heart to give something more. But I'm saying in that same sense, when it comes to saving, whatever you decide in your heart, that's going to be what you're going to put up. Be diligent with that. If you're going to do $2, be diligent with that. If you're going to do $10, be diligent with that, and just like we talked about with the car payment or with the insurance, it'll become a normal thing for you. And then once you create the system of putting money on the side, saving money, stacking that paper, then you can begin to increase it. You know, but
Yeah.
but you got to start somewhere. How did that sound?
That's exactly. The only thing on the caveat is, remember, once you get started, increase is easy. Increase is easy. Increase is easy. Once you get started.
Once you get started.
Once you get started, increase is easy.
Once you get started, increase is easy. Y'all put that in the chat. That's a good thing to put in the chat. Put that in the chat as we get ready to close out. Put that in the chat. Once you get started, increase is easy. Now, that's a powerful statement because oftentimes we want the increase, to be first before we get started. You have people say, Lord, if you give me increase, then I'll do what you're asking me to do. If you give me increase, then I'll tithe. If you give me increase, then I'll, but it's the other way around, isn't it? You got to get started. Once you get started, then increase is easy. Oh, I think I'm preaching now. Yeah.
Oh, no, you preaching. You preaching. But yeah, that's the biggest point I want to tell everybody. Once you get started, increase is easy.
Yeah,
now, you can package that up. You can do that 1,000 times over.
I'll put that in the chat. Once you get started, increase is easy. Once you get started, increase is easy. I like that. I might have to get Lady B make me a shirt like that. Once you get started, matter of fact, I'm going to write that down. That's resonating with me. That's resonating.
Yes.
Well, listen, Mr. J, what's your closing comments for the day?
I want to say, once you get started, increase is easy. But I want you to understand that. Remember, small adjustments, small steps over time will increase your pathway. Saying no, I can't do it, you'll be in the same position or worse in years to come.
Yeah.
So make the step. Do the small steps. Get yourself where you need to be.
Yeah, and watch your mouth. Watch your mouth and stop. My pastor used to call it po mouth. Stop po mouthing. Use that energy, to speak positive. Speak over. I know you got people out there say you can't name it and claim it and grab it and blab it and grab it and all that kind of mess. And I get what they're saying. However, it does start with your mouth. You got to see that thing, and then you have to call that thing out. The Bible said, call those things that be not as though they were. And so you have to call those things out, and you have to encourage yourself. The Bible said David, when they was coming to kill him, they wanted to stone him because all of their wives and children got kidnapped. And the Bible say, and David encouraged himself, and so we got to speak life over ourselves and life over our situation, life over our finances, life over our plans. And we can't give up, give in, and give out so easy. We got to keep pressing. That's why you need to be at this workshop this weekend.
Yes.
Yes. That's why you need to be at this workshop this weekend. Tomorrow, you need to be at the workshop tomorrow, 9 o'clock, 9 to 3. And whatever you got going on, you need to put it on hold to be at this workshop because it's going to empower you so that you can begin to overcome situations, circumstances, and conditions in your life. So you could listen. I learned years ago that we don't fight for victory. We fight from a place of victory. God has already given us victory, so we're not fighting for victory. We already have that. We're fighting from a place of victory, but we have to have the mindset of a victor. We have to have the mindset. Our goal is to triumph. Triumph is what David, when he chopped off the head of Goliath, when he knocked Goliath out, he had victory. When he chopped off his head and marched him to the street, he triumphed. And so we have to begin to knock some of these bills out and chop them off and hold them up and march them through the street and walk as triumph. You know what I mean? Because we God's children. Come on now.
Yes.
Come on.
Yes.
Yeah, we gotta know that we're His children. He wants the best for our lives, and He said if we be obedient, we'll eat the good of the land. You understand what I mean? If we're willing and obedient. And so we got to be willing and obedient. Well, listen, we are out of time. And so that's going to be your last word. Once you get started, increase is easy.
Oh, yeah. That's it for me. Yeah. Once you get started, increase is easy.
Well, listen, thank you again for tuning in to another Rise and Thrive Financial Friday, where we are rising from a financial slump and we're thriving to financial freedom. Listen, man, we pray that you have been blessed by our show tonight. We just been chopping it up, and it's been really good. I think our word of the day is small increments or small steps, small adjustments, because once you get started, come on, James, finish that.
Increase is easy.
Increase is easy. He was a little slow on that one. I need to come right in on that thing.
It was my internet. Oh,
it was your internet. Okay. All right. We're gonna let it. We go internet. And so make sure that you begin where you are. You start where you are. And so I hope to see you on tomorrow at the Financial Friday. No, see, at the beginning. So you got that spirit on me. In the beginning, you said that. You remember when you said that? When we talk about the workshop, you call it Financial Friday.
I did call it
Financial Friday is the day, but the entrepreneur workshop is tomorrow. And we want to make sure that you it'll be one of the best $25 that you ever spent. And listen, if you stop in for the first time, make sure you holler at me. Matter of fact, I will give you one of my books called The Power of Negotiation. Is that the name of the book? It's about negotiation.
Yes. Yeah, the power of negotiation.
Power of negotiation. Yes. And in the Power of Negotiation, I talk about how I negotiated $3 million property down to $750,000. And the principles that I use, I'll give that to you absolutely free. If you are a first-time entrepreneur workshop, register in person on tomorrow at 9:00. That was a lot, wasn't it? That was a lot.
Yeah, I think you got it. I think that was that fine print stipulation.
Right. That was a fine print. All right. Well, listen, we're out of here. God bless you all. Thank you again for tuning in. We look forward to seeing you on next Friday on Rise and Thrive Financial Friday. And I pray that you will see increase this week, because remember, James, that was your cue again. James.
Oh my God. Okay, hold on.
Once you get started,
increase is easy.
We out of here. Peace. God bless.